People are going to think what they're going to think, including you. And when I think over my life and I consider the times I felt were the hardest, financial struggles, low self-esteem, what have you, it took me some time to learn some things. And I'm thankful for growth, for being able to recognize growth. I had a lack of confidence. I had all those things that are associated with growing as a younger person into my young adulthood and then into adulthood. However, getting into the church made it worse because now I totally cast off my own identity before finding out who I was, and then willingly adopted someone else who I never knew or did not know existed in reality. I adopted that person's identity because I was taught that I was wretched. There was nothing good in me, not knowing that that type of teaching is abusive and it's totally not healthy, toxic for any human. That is what Christianity teaches you. It teaches you that you are not worthy of anything good. Now that's a dangerous doctrine. Think about that idea. I'm not worthy of anything good. So what do I have to do in order to show myself worthy? I have to accept a proposition that goes against everything that I know to be real in the observable universe that we all are experiencing at the same time. The expectation for me to believe the unbelievable is not rational if you're not going to have incredible evidence for the incredible claims. To claim that a man walked on water must be demonstrated. To play a game of imagination that a God can do anything, that's all good, but that's irrelevant. Where is the evidence that we have in our natural universe that shows us that a man can walk on water? And once again, you may be tempted to say, but he was God. That's a claim. Where do we have in our observable universe evidence of a God? Where? When we look at nature, we see nature, not evidence of a God. You may not know how all of this came to be. We may not know anything beyond or before pre-Big Bang. That doesn't give us a right to make things up. And that's what happens with religion and indoctrination and people who are uncomfortable with not knowing. You gotta become comfortable with not knowing. If you are able to investigate something that is falsifiable, go for it. But when you have an unfalsifiable proposition like Tinkerbell, Narnia, Peter Pan, Mickey Mouse, Tom and Jerry, all of these are imaginative. We made them up out of our imagination, from which the God idea derives as well. Everything that we are, all that we believe that we are, think that we are, know that we are, stems from right here. That is the only evidence that we have concerning consciousness, where it comes from, how it works, tied to the brain. That's all that we know at this point in time. So the brain is the epicenter of all things that pertains to consciousness. Anything outside of this body that we can recognize, like the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars, or what have you. All of that is a product of the brain, because without the brain, you don't exist. You cannot perceive consciousness, or what we call consciousness. As a early Christian, I never thought of those things. I simply accepted what is called the gospel by faith. I thought that it was the best message ever because since a child, I was already predisposed to the idea that I was dirty, that I was sinful, which is a mark that lasts not just in this life, but a mark that lasts into the perceivable life beyond, if such a thing exists. That is a heavy proposition. That is something to think about. Let's talk about the standard of evidence on the next video, because what is your standard of evidence? Why did I believe what I believed in 1997 so easily? What was the evidence that convinced me?